Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and I have this wonderful team that God has provided me that I always like to introduce because I could not do this without them. First of all is my faithful assistant, Faye. Who's basically been my assistant since the day she was born. She would hang out at the soundboard with her dad, well, in his arms. And then as soon as she was able to crawl, she crawled right up on stage like she belonged there. So we left her there. And so she used to come up and do announcements with me. We'd put her on the podium, sit her on the podium, and she would do announcements with me. But she was also my first baptism ever. So that was kind of exciting. And Reverend Catherine and Reverend Marilyn did my baptism when we were in the School of Ministry. So when when you said that when Catherine was speaking, I was like, oh yeah, it's a whole like circle. Anyway, she was always. Her dad was a tow truck driver, and he would go on out of town tows, and he would drop the girls at my house to hang out with me all day while he was away. And I always had projects. I'm just one of those people that always has projects, and the girls would work on the projects. And so I got a taste of what Faith is capable of. So when she said at 14 and a half, I want a real job, I hired her for my ozone business. And when we went live for the pandemic, I hired her as my ministerial assistant. So she's the one behind the scenes that does everything. All I do is talk, basically. And I couldn't do this without her, so I'm so blessed to have her. But the other thing she is our soloist. So today we're going to be singing We Are All Angels by Karen Drucker, which is an awesome song. I just love that song. And so thank you so much, Faith, for being here. I love you. And then there's my partner in crime, the wise and powerful Oz. And he was my first baby practitioner back in 1998, wasn't it? Oh, wait.
Yep.
When did
25 years ago this month.
Yeah, 25 years ago. Wow. And so he's our practitioner of the day. He's my first baby practitioner, meaning he took all of his training with me, except for, I think, one class. But then he was my board president for a really long time, I think 7 years. And then he moved off to Florida, and we lost the ability to have him be practitioner of the day, which is what he is today. So that means that he is going to do our invocation and our benediction, and will be available at the end for a 1-minute miracle.
Until 2 o'clock Eastern time.
Until 2 o'clock Eastern, which 12 o'clock our time. Yeah. Which I'll talk about it in just a moment. Well, at the end of the service, I'll let you know more about that. But I really couldn't do this without either one of you. So thank you so much for being here. I love you, Oz. It's nice that, with the pandemic, that's probably one of the good things that came out of the pandemic, was that I reached out to Oz and said, would you be willing to do the service? And he, jumped right on board as usual. He's really dedicated to anything that God needs him to do. So I really appreciate him. Okay, so, and our topic today is We Are All Angels. Imagine that. I'll talk more about that later. I do want to say that if you're here, say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see the shining faces smiling back at me. With this software, I get a number. I don't even get names. So I appreciate it when you say hi, hello, good morning. And if you are joining us later on, just drop a line and say hi. Just let us know you were here. It's great to know who I've got watching. And speaking of watching, there's a watch party button where you can click on that watch party button, invite your friends. It's a great way for them to see what kind of Sunday services they can receive, or they will receive. And you can talk amongst yourselves in a chat, which is private. So you can't bother anybody else, but it's a great way for your friends to get their questions asked if they have any. So click on that watch party button and invite all your friends. I'm rushing through this. I don't know why. I've been rushing all morning. Maybe that's it. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Presence of God, right here, right now. For God is, as we conceive of it, all there is. In all things as all things. For if God is infinite and eternal, it must be in us as us at all times. And it is ever present through all of our experiences, creating them, imbuing them with the power and substance that only God can provide. For God's infinite power extends through every nook and cranny of all of existence and all that could be. The infinite potential power that is going on right now is who we are, is what we are, is all that we are and all that we experience. It can be no other way. And we know that blessings come forth from this one great power. To the degree that we can allow them to enter into our lives, we know those blessings can be experienced by us. I give thanks for these blessings. I know they are good and very good, and I allow them to unfold right here, right now. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. This next song is one that Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver wrote during her practitioner training as a reminder that we are all connected, that we are all one. So if you know the words, sing them loud and sing it proud, because you can't bother anybody. And if you don't, learn them. It's a great way to know or to remember that you're connected.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Yes, we are all one in it. If you are here, say hi, hello, good morning, however you like to greet us in a facility. I can look out and see the shining faces beaming back at me. With this software, I get a number, no names or anything. So please do say that. If you like something that you hear, whether that's something I say or Faith sings or Oz prays, use the like button. And if you love it, of course, send us hearts. We love to. I can't do a heart this morning. I can't figure out my fingers. There we go. We love to get love. And if something strikes you as very powerful, by all means, use that wow button. That feedback tells me when I'm on target. So I like to get that feedback. Without further ado, here is Faith singing We Are All Angels by Karen Drucker.
Thank you. We are all angels who only have one wish. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. Do you know there are angels in our midst? Can you hear them? Can you feel them? They're all around you, with you every day. Do you see them, or do you look the other way? It's that man that I forgot to kiss as I hurried out the door, or that stranger that said hello that I ignored. They are angels, we are angels, we are angels, we are all angels who only have one wish. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. My life gets so busy, time goes by so fast. I rush through the days, trying to make each moment last. But when I take the time to look around, I see sweet angels are smiling back at me. Everywhere at any time, I need to open up my eyes and see the beauty that surrounds me. Now I realize we are angels. We are angels. We are angels. We are all angels who only have one wish. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. 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 We need each other.
I couldn't find that. I was like, my cursor wouldn't go to Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you so much, Faith. I
Thank
love
you.
that song.
It's my favorite Karen Drucker song to ever do. So thank you for picking it.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Oh, I've always loved angels. Angels have just been sort of a fascination for me my whole life, but I don't think of angels like, remember that that movie or that show Touched by an Angel with Roma Downey, where she would perform regular jobs and then at some point reveal to the person that she was an angel and they wouldn't believe her. So she'd start to glow and then they'd be able to see her wings. I'm not sure I believe in that version of angels. It's possible, I suppose, but I know if one appeared to me that way, I'd run in the other direction because I can only relate to a human angel. I can only relate to somebody who steps forward in the midst of life and, brings me flowers. My neighbor, my angel neighbor, brought me flowers for the Sunday service, or the angels that step forward to help me find my way when I'm lost, that kind of thing. That's the only way I seem to be able to fathom angels. I have angels all over my house. My mentor minister, Dr. Kathleen Vogt, she loved angels too, but she always had like figurines of angels all over her house. I ended up with one of hers that after she passed on, but she kind of sparked something in me to like all of that. And so people from the church would always bring me angels. And so now, because we don't have a facility, the angels are all over my space. And I just love that because it reminds me how much angels are present. And there's one above my, this is my dining room actually. And so when you go into the kitchen above the doorway is an angel that says angels welcome here, and she got broken at some point and Faith's dad fixed her for me, and I missed her when she wasn't there, but I love to look up there and feel the inspiration that she gives me, because I do feel like that's what angels are about. They're symbols of innocence and purity, and they're symbols of love, hope, faith, intelligence, strength. Although the angel's interpretation varies these days, they're almost similar. For those of you who don't know, my sister passed away in February. And one of the things that I've always felt is that she was my other half. Somehow or other, we got twin energy. We were 13 years apart, so you wouldn't think that would happen, but there was twin energy there. So at one point, I bought her this poster. I bought one for her and one for me. Mine's in my bedroom. Hers, I don't know if it's still hanging on the top of the stairs or on the wall to the stairway, but it's twin angels. And that's how I kind of thought of us, was that we were twin angels, and she had one wing and I had the other, and together we would fly. That's kind of how I started to think of her. And so now that she's gone on, I feel like she's still around me as an angel, but I don't know if she appeared to me glowing with wings. I don't know if I could take it. I really don't. I mean, I might be able to just welcome her with open arms, but I'm not sure that would happen, because I may not be able to deal with that image. But we all have 4 guardian angels that you hear about all the time. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. And they are the keepers of every awakened or sleeping human. They grant human beings their equilibrium, the accomplishment of their commitments, their spiritual and physical healing, and illumination, respectively. So I call a lot of the times on Michael when I feel like I need to be protected. It's not like I visualize Michael swooping down and like standing in front of me to protect me. It's not so much that as my feeling that I'm protected. When I call on Michael, I feel like that's the feeling that it elicits, is my feeling of protection. And Gabriel and Raphael are amazing inspirations. Let's put it that way. When I'm needing inspiration, or when I'm stuck, I call out to them to assist me. Now, I haven't really called out to Uriel that much. I probably should. I don't remember what he's about, but it's good for us to know that we have those 4 guardian angels that assist us in everything that we do. Like when I'm working on an issue, I will call out to my angels to assist me with that. And I think that that's important for us to recognize that they're all around us all the time. Now, do I believe they're separate from God? No. I believe that's one of the ways that they're messengers. They're messengers of God's message to me. And so when I call out to them, it's not circumventing God or having them go to God for me, but more like listening to the message that I'm better able to hear when it's coming from them, I guess. And we see angels when we're going through a spiritual awakening, developing a deeper understanding of ourselves in the universe. They'll drawn to our heightened vibration. And so as we escalate in vibration, like I talked about, I think it was last week, that I want to vibrate at the frequency of God. And as we do that, we then call to ourselves that vibration of the angels as well. And we see angels when we've been feeling alone or isolated, and we could use a reminder that we play a part of the grand master plan. Because truly, all of us, angels and humans, okay, my cursor's not working. My mouse is not working. What's happening here? Oh, Uriel is wisdom. Thank you, Faith. Yeah. We are part of the grand master plan as our angels. And that grand master plan is about us becoming more and more present and more conscious of the connection that we all have in our business that we are about, which is bringing God's love to earth, spreading the message of God's love. And so we're part of that grand master plan because God wants us to experience love, unconditional love. I'm not talking about, male, female, male, male, female, female love. I'm talking about that unconditional urge within us for unconditional love, and God provides that if we're open to it. Sometimes it's hard for us to actually feel it. And that's where the angels come in, I think. We see angels when we're pursuing something that we're not always meant to do. The universe wants to reinforce our self-belief so that we can continue to move in the best direction. Because sometimes we pick things that are not for our highest and best good. And so the angels represent to us the message that this is what you should be doing, right? We see angels when we're feeling vulnerable in our mind as an indication that we have support. I don't know how many times I felt lonely and unsupported and reached out to the angels, and I don't see them again. I don't see them. I just feel this feeling of being uplifted and feeling supported. We see angels when we spent some time veering away from our true purpose and are now beginning to align with that once again. Remember I said, when we're pursuing something that we're not always meant to do, we see the angels, but then when we self-correct and we wind up going the right direction, the angels appear to us as well. Angels will also provide signs when we're moving in the process of moving in the wrong direction. We see angels when we've been through a trauma and we've reached the stage at which we are ready to begin the healing process. We see angels when an angel simply wants to communicate unconditional love for us, or to us, I should say, and reconnect with our own pure love for the universe. And this can happen at times that we may not expect, or when love is an important theme in personal development. The key message here is that you're most likely to see angels when you're transforming into your most authentic self, or when you've been faced with hardship and need to experience extra care. I've experienced angels, human angels, when I really need them the most. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about that journey that I made up to Aspen Park in the middle of a snowstorm and got lost on up in the hills, and how dangerous it really was. And I found a human angel then. And I was doing a wedding up in Genesee one time, and it was so bad that they closed I-70. And I'm trying to get to this wedding up in Genesee, and I stopped at a 7-Eleven and called them and said, the roads are closed. I can't get to you. Do you want to do the ceremony over the phone? And she's like, nope, we'll wait for you. Take the back roads. So that was scary in itself. And then I couldn't find the place I was supposed to be in. And again, I sat down and cried. And that seems to be the opening for prayer. I sat down and just melted down. And then I started to pray. And this guy comes along. I was parked inside of there's a gated community, and I was parked at the gate where the gate had to go up for you to get in, and I couldn't get in because there was nobody at the booth. And mind you, I'm 3 hours late for the wedding, just to give you an idea. And this guy pulls up behind me, and I said, "Do you live here?" And he goes, "No." He said, "I just saw you there, just sitting there, and I'm wondering if there's something I can do to help." So he guided me to the wedding place. I got stuck up there that night. Couldn't go home. But I feel like that's how my angels appear, is when I'm really in desperate need of something, and I open the pathway by being vulnerable and crying. And then I start to pray, because, when all else fails, pray. Not let's pray first, which is my, as a minister, that's what I should be doing. Yes, I should pray first. But no, I'm really human, so I wait till the last minute and then I start to pray, and then my angels appear. But I've had a lot of experiences with the angelic realm, let's just put it that way. The most clear one is I had a congregant say to me one time, "Do you visit other families that are not part of the congregation?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'd be happy to do that." So they flew in this 10-month-old baby from New Mexico, airlifted him to Children's Hospital. And I spent the better part of 2 weeks with the family as they waited to see if they could get a liver transplant for this baby, because they were hoping that the dad would be a liver transplant donor or an acceptable donor, but he had a heart murmur, so they said no. And so we waited and waited to see if they could find a donor in time. And the poor little baby got sicker and sicker, and finally, not only was his liver failing, but then his kidneys started to fail too. And he blew up like a balloon. I don't know if you've ever really looked at a balloon that's been blown up too much, and how it looks like at any minute all the pieces of it will just explode. And that's how this little baby's face looked as he filled with uric acid. And finally, and his hands were so swollen that they couldn't even get an IV to stay in his vein. And so at one point they said, "Okay, it's time to pull the plug, because if he does recover, he will be brain dead because of all the uric acid." And so this was New Year's Eve. And so we gathered all together in this room. He was in an isolation ward. And so we had to wash our hands very thoroughly, put on gloves, masks, a shower cap, a gown, and little booties for our feet before we could actually go into this room. And the room was behind sliding glass doors. And we went in and we sang him out. We prayed him and sang him out. There's a beautiful song that I love. I'm going to try and sing it. We'll see how my voice holds out. But this is the song that we all sang. "You're an angel. You're a being of light. You're an angel, and I know that I'm right. You're an angel." Well, one of the lines in there is, "And it's time to live." And because we were singing him out, we sang it, "And it's time to leave." And there was 20 of us. There was the chaplain of the hospital, the family members, my congregant. I think one of the nurses stayed in there with us. I can't remember, but there were 20 of us all together, and we were gathered around this baby with our arms around each other, singing this song and praying. And at the moment he left, we actually physically felt him leave. And at that same moment, the nurses came rushing in because the monitors told them that he was gone. And it was one of the most beautiful and the most awful experiences I've had as a minister. Watching this little baby leave the earth and knowing that he went on to a better life because he was no longer in pain, he was no longer suffering, and became an angel. And I remember that when I think about my sister, or I think about all of the people I've lost through the pandemic. I've lost 12 altogether from COVID. And I think about that moment when I think about all of my friends that have made their transition. Because it is a very sacred moment when our spirit goes on to higher heights, so to speak. I'm not a big believer in heaven and hell because Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, we don't teach about heaven and hell because we don't want you to be good in order to get into heaven, or we don't want you to avoid being bad because you're afraid to go to hell. Being good is on a physical level. You can actually feel it when you're doing the right thing. And so be good for goodness sake, right? There's a song about that. Be good for goodness sake. And avoid being so-called bad because you don't feel good. I don't know how many of you have had this experience, but when I walk away from an argument with someone and it's not resolved, I carry in my gut this like feeling of unresolved gunk that makes me feel not good. And to me, that's hell on earth. You see, I think heaven and hell are states of being here on the earth. And we're in heaven when we are in alignment with the things we say that we believe in. Hang on. There is no delicate way to blow your nose when you're on camera. Sorry, but it was necessary. And so becoming aware of all of the angels and their various functions and the way that they appear in our lives and what they do for us is a really good way to live your life. Because when you recognize that everyone, including the angels, including the humans, is here on earth as a representation or an agent of God's love, then we begin to see angels in a different light. And one of the things that happens is you start to see duplicate numbers frequently. Like 111 is a very powerful one. It's the number for manifestation, which is part of why many people make a wish when they see it repeated in a sequence, like 1111 on a clock, or when you see 111, think of the universe as taking a screenshot of your frame of mind in that moment. Michaela says, whatever is going on, all your thoughts, visualizations, goals, and dreams, they are going to be replicated. So when you see this sequence, ensuring your thoughts and energy are focused on what you want can help usher that energy into existence. That's according to numerology. That's what Michaela does. She does numerology. So my experience of 1111 is I had this mentor minister, Dr. Fred Vogt, who believed that 1111 was the time when the world of the dead and the world of the living coincide. They can talk, they can experience each other, feel each other's existence. And so one time shortly after he died, I think it was like, he died in March, I believe, or April. I can't remember now. It's such a long time ago. And we did this retreat up at Big Sky, which is in Montana, I believe. And it was in September, but it was shortly after he died. I mean, just a few months. And so we were sitting in this big conference room listening to a lecture. And for some reason, I don't even know what happened. I lost it. I just became so overwhelmed and sad that I ran out and I ran into the room that I was sharing with his widow, Dr. Kathleen Vogt. And I entered the room and I smelled Fred's cologne. And I just froze. And I looked at the clock and it was 11:11. And I'm like, oh my God, he's just wanting me to know that he's here. So Kathy, running after me because she's concerned about me, runs into the room about, and says, are you okay? And she goes, wow, I smell Fred's perfume. And just at that moment, the clock turned 11:12 and it disappeared. And so Kathy and I sat and thought about all of that. Like it was such a weird but amazing way for Fred to know that he was thinking about us, and that at that moment there was a connection between the two worlds, right? So from that day forward, at 11:11, twice a day, when I see it, I would say, "Hi, Fred," and just kind of, acknowledge his presence. And then when Kathy made her transition, it became, "Hi, Fred and Kathy." And then I had another mentor minister that died from COVID a little over a year ago, and it became, "Hi, Kathy, Fred, Marlene." And then when my sister died, it became, "Hi, Fred, Kathy, Marlene, and Joey." And it's amazing how I see it almost every day now. But it's a great way to acknowledge that they are in our world, or they're in and through and around us all over the place, right? When we do our memorials and our funerals, which I love doing, but I think I'm broken right now. When we do those funerals and memorials, what we talk about is that they're in the air we breathe. They're all around us and through us. And so they can never leave us. Their spirit can never leave us. But we can't always feel their presence. We can't always know that they're there. And the reason I like to do memorials and funerals is because I'm able to be the calm port in the storm for the families. I put on my minister persona and everything else just falls away. After doing my sister's memorial, I've been asked to do a couple of memorials, and I can't. I know that I cannot be that calm port in the storm for them. It's not okay for me to fall apart and melt down during that service, because then I'm not there for the family. So I don't know if Joey's passing has broken me permanently or if it's just temporary, but I'm not sure I'll ever be able to do a memorial again. We'll see. All right, so 222, in this sometimes rigidly goal prioritizing world where we live, it can be easy to get tripped up on not being at a certain progress point, which can lead you to compare yourself to others. When you see the number 2 everywhere, Michaela says it can be interpreted as an angel number, reminder to be present, enjoy the moment, and trust that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Because so many of the times, we think we should be doing something else, or we should be somewhere else, or, something else should be happening. And that's really not it. We are exactly where we are supposed to be at all times. It's just that our timing may be off, right? And so 222 is that reminder to be present in the moment and know we are in the right place at the right time always. She says 333 is the sequence. This sequence is a prompt from the angels to bring more balance into your life. They want you to look at the areas of your life that are not fully rounded out and self-correct. Get some meditation going, embark on that workout routine, and finally start that vision board you've been procrastinating on. Because 333 is, come on, get moving. Come on. Treat and move your feet, not just pray, but pray and move on. Do some action, put some action into that. And 444, if you're navigating a challenge and have been trying to get guidance from your spirit guide or signs from the universe, noticing the number 4 at all around you can serve as evidence that you're being heard. Your angels are guiding you, surrounding you, and answering your prayers of protection. Michaela says it may be a time of struggle, but you are being led into the light by your guardians. And I think that's really important for us to remember, that if we're seeing 444 everywhere, then that means, or 4s everywhere, that means that we're being led into the light, and we should embrace that and follow that. I'm not talking about moving into the light like it's time to move on. I'm talking about stepping into the light of beauty, brilliance that your life is intended to be. 555, when you start spotting that number, that means change is coming. Before you get worried, know that change is a good thing, even if it might be uncomfortable. Change can be seen as a negative thing, but with the right mindset and the right alignment to your goals. It's actually your angel's way of readjusting your life to fit that what you want to happen. Michaela says, life will look different when you get what you want. You know, I'm really famous for saying, be careful what you ask for. Because what happens when you get whatever you've been praying for is sometimes it isn't what you wanted. If that makes any sense. Ram Dass says that when you get the thing you were praying for, you're not the same person that receives you're not the same person who was praying for it that you are when you receive it. And because of that, it doesn't satisfy you the way you thought it would. And that's because we pray for situations and things. We don't pray for the feeling that we want to experience. When we pray for the feeling that we want to experience, then the things themselves appear as necessary, but they're the ones you really want, not the ones you think you want. So she says, life will look different when you get what you want. And that's so true. Are 666s showing up seemingly everywhere in your life? If so, the angels may be trying to give you a bit of a reality check. This is a strong message from your angel guardians to take personal responsibility in your own life and ask yourself in all areas, what do I need to do differently? Again, you know, we're not talking about blame here, because blame is, I created this and I can't uncreate it. I just have to live with it. Accepting responsibility says, I created this so I can uncreate it and I can create something much better. So it's really important, if you're seeing 666 everywhere, you ask yourself, what do I need to do differently? What do I need? Hi, Fred, Kathy, Marlene, and Joey. Speaking of which, they are here with us right now. What do I need to do differently? And what do I need to take accountability for? What is my responsibility in this moment? Repeating sevens are basically the universe urging you to relax and let go of your fears for the future. Give up your control of what's going to happen next. See, here's the thing. Control is an illusion anyway. So you give up your need to control what's going to happen next. Let's put it that way. Michaela says it that way. She says, give up control. But I'm saying, give up your need to control what's going to happen next. And instead, embrace the present and trust that everything is always working out for you. See, we run into trouble when we think we need to manage God, micromanage God, right? We don't have an abundance problem. We don't have a love problem, relationship problem. We don't have a health problem. What we have is a micromanagement problem, where we not only want a result, but we want to teach God how to do it better in our life. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that other than, you know, you can't micromanage God. God has a much bigger view of all of the world, including your life, and sees much more possibilities than you will ever see as a human doing. And so trying to micromanage God is a real problem because you'll never get what it is you really truly want, because you are limiting God's ability to work through you. So just trust that everything is always working out for you. As I've said before, the universe, God, Allah, whoever, whatever, divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it, is working behind the scenes, and God's answer is always yes. So if I am intending for something, I just have to let go of it and let God work its magic in me, because it's working behind the scenes to create that. Now, I'm not talking about a specific person or a specific situation or a specific, I don't know, body type, whatever. Like, we get caught up in those specifics. What I'm saying is there's a feeling underneath that you want to experience. And if you focus your attention on that and make that your intention, God's working behind the scenes to create exactly the right relationship, or exactly the right job, or exactly the right financial situation, or exactly the right doctor, or exactly the right physical approach for you to feel that. And so we need to just remember that everything's always working out for us. All right. The number 8 is about infinity, or the endless loop of energy. Michaela says seeing it means that you are effortlessly going with the natural flow and rhythm of what your angels have in store for you. So it's like a little pat on the back. In other words, oh, she even says that. In other words, it's a pat on the back and a reminder to be grateful for how far you've come. So if you're seeing 888 everywhere, just know you're being patted on the back by your angels. And you'll likely see repeating nines when you've been working on something for a while and it brings good news in tow. This number means that the cycle of what you have been doing is reaching completion, Michaela says. You are at the finish line of your end goals, and it's time to start leveling up to visualize some new ones. And I love that 999 is that number of, okay, completion is here. It's a good way for us to recognize that, because sometimes I think we feel like we have to keep going, even though we feel like it might be complete, but we're not sure. And so we keep going. And we're spending needless energy on that. So if we see 999, we know that we don't need to work on that anymore because it has reached completion. So this week, I would like you to just acknowledge the angels in your life, whether they're Sarah and Ruby, who brought me these beautiful flowers from their garden so that I would have flowers for church without me asking. They just popped up yesterday. Or it's the person who shows up to give you directions when you're lost. Or it is an angel appearing as a person to just, help you feel supported, whatever that looks like. I just want you to acknowledge those angels in the world. And if you have friends and family that have made their transition, please know that they are always around you. And so celebrate that this week, please. Enjoy the fact that they can never be removed from you. Although their physical body isn't present, you can't reach out and touch them. You need to know that they are all around you, in and through you. And there's no way they can be separate from you. Again, all is one, right? So this week, please remember that and pay attention to those numbers that you're seeing. At 1111, reach out to whoever it is you think needs to be acknowledged that has made their transition. Because that's a really good way of recognizing, letting them know that you recognize that they're there. Okay. Will you do that with me this week? Let's have a prayer.
You're muted.
So right now, I just turn my awareness to the infinite power, the infinite presence of God, to that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful, how amazing, how beautiful God is. Ever present, all knowing, all being. And so that's where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every action, every deed is led and guided by that one ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through all of us. I know that same truth is so for this wonderful team that God has provided me, and that we are one in that infinite power, that infinite presence of God. And because of that, we are guided and led by that one ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through all. I know that same truth to be so for everyone listening to this, whether that be in real time or later on. For there is no place where one leaves off and the other begins. Only the one. Mitaku Easin, all my brethren, we are related. We are all one. So I bless this coming week with an awareness of the angels around us, as I celebrate the idea that angels are always welcome here. Whether you have that angel sitting above your doorway or not, this week, know that as you think it, as you see it, as you believe it, the angels make their presence known. So I bless this week with that awareness that there are angels present in our lives, and they are everywhere present, and they make themselves known to us in a way which we can accept them. And I bless every person here who has a need for prayer. Because I do know that that same power and presence that operates through the angels and operates through us and operates through all of life is what operates in whatever condition you're experiencing. For God is the only power there is. So I pull back the veil, showing that power, exposing that power in the lives of those who are needing prayer. I call it good and very good in their name as I declare it done. My heart fills with gratitude that this is so. And I just let it be. And so it is. Amen.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirits on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the hearts, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. We are the hearts, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world.
I am. Thank you, Faith. Goodness gracious. This is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express gratitude for that which you have created already in the physical realm, or perhaps what you have created in the mind of God you haven't seen yet in the physical realm. But expressing gratitude always brings you to a place of more. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to go to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page is an offering affirmation I'll have you say with me. And then underneath that is a Contribute Now button. So I want to talk just briefly about Contribute Now and what that means. We are not in a facility, so you're not paying for rent and utilities and all the usual stuff that you pay for when a church is in a facility. Instead, we have a vision that we live in a healed world, and we have a mission to heal one person at a time. And so we'd like to be global. It's amazing the places that we have followers from. Last week, we had someone from India and the Philippines. But we always have people from Germany, the UK, and the Netherlands. And so I like to celebrate that, but I also would like to be more global than that. I have a cousin who's in Israel right now, and I'm wishing her health and safety. But I would love to have some people from Israel tuning in, especially now during the war, and they need our support. So what you are contributing to is our getting this message out to the world so that the world becomes a better place to live in. Wouldn't it be nice if the whole world was finally completely at peace? I would love that. I think that would be awesome. So what we're asking you to do is to contribute to that mission. Please now go, whether you're watching this in real time or you're watching later on, please now go to oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page, say this offering affirmation with me. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is. Amen. Hit that contribute now button and help us help our mission get to our vision. That's the best way to say that I can think of. As we move into our announcements. Oh, goodness. All right. Starting off with Brooks and Bailey. And I've been reposting something, and I'm not even sure it's their necklaces. Shauna and Dawn, if you are listening, can you please let me know? Is that really your business? At first, I thought it was your jewelry going into that store. And then you posted something else, and I'm not sure what that was. So I don't want to keep reposting that because, we have limited resources as far as being able to announce things. So I'm not going to announce that. This is their mala beads. This is an amethyst mala bead. It has 108 beads on it. The Hindus and the Buddhists use one bead at a time. They move the bead to do their chants. I recommend doing your affirmations that way because it's a great way to know that you're getting 100 affirmations a day in. And the bracelets have 54 each, so you could do the bracelets twice. But Brooks and Bailey is, they have mala beads starting from $30 and up. The amethyst are one of the more expensive ones. And then all the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. And you can reach them through Brooks and Bailey 0307 at Gmail, their email address, or on Facebook, they have a page. And I do try to repost when they're going to be in an event. So I'll have to talk to them and see if I'm reposting something I shouldn't be. Okay, so Faith.
And please check out the Mystic Brew. The website no longer works, but you can order through Instagram and Facebook by direct messaging us. We have intention jars as well as kits to make them yourself and bath salts that help attract whatever you are currently working on, as well as we are offering sporadic Zumba classes. So definitely give us a follow so that you get notified on all the updates.
Thank you, Faith. And then we have an Etsy store by Angel Renee that is along the same lines, has intention candles and an intention tea bag. She uses aromatic herbs, so you just drop that into the bath water with you, and it helps you to focus on your intention. So it's a great thing. Let's see. We have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast. God, that will pray on requests every day for a week. And so if you would like prayer for something, please put it in the comment section. If you don't want it to be public, you can DM Faith and she will definitely take care of that for you to make sure the God Squad gets the prayer requests. We call our licensed practitioners the God Squad because I like to think of it as they're a squad that moves in. You know what I mean? It's like I love the visual of that, but they are the healing arm of our church. And they perform 3 functions. One is this ministry of prayer or the God Squad where they pray every day for a week on these prayer requests. The second is they're available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. And we don't get involved in the payment part of that. So you would reach out on Facebook to find out which one you wanted to, or first you would go to our website, figure out which one you wanted to work with, and then find them on Facebook and let them know, send them a message that you would like a session for spiritual guidance, and they'll let you know how to pay for it. Because I don't get involved in that. They have their own business. So some of them use Venmo, some of them Cash App, some of them Wise, some of them PayPal. I don't know what else is out there, but Zelle, I don't know. And they'll tell you how to pay for it. You pay for it, and they will reach out at the appointed time for your spiritual guidance session. Our practitioner of the day, which is Oz today, is available for what we call our 1 minute miracle. It's not a time for counseling, but it is a time where you can let him know what you are struggling with, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. So take advantage of this loving service that our practitioners provide. We couldn't do music on Sundays without these two wonderful ladies. First is Reverend Fairy Lane Silver, who, she only has CDs available, but her website, for some reason, she can't change it, and she travels all over the United States singing. So you get on her website, figure out what you want, let her know by email. She's really good about sending them wherever she is because she keeps them in the trunk of her car. The other one is Karen Drucker, whose website does work, and you can pay for it right then and there. You can buy it by the song, the songbook, the karaoke file. You can get it by CD, all those options, and you can pay for it right then and there. So we like to support those that support us, like I'm famous for saying. And so definitely check out the music for these two ladies and buy something from them. Christmas is coming up. It's not too early to buy Christmas gifts. I saw some post the other day. I know we're running late, but I saw some post the other day about Walmart, I think it was, wanting us to go in and at Thanksgiving wearing our Halloween costume and buying Christmas trees. That's pretty much where it's at, But it's never too early to buy Christmas gifts, I think. I used to like to get it done by Thanksgiving because then I didn't have to stress about it. So you can do that with these ladies, and I guarantee their songs are appreciated by everyone. All right. Then check out our website, oasiscsl.org. There you're going to find video sermons of the last 3 years, audio sermons from years prior, pictures of our spiritual family, and all of that. So check it out. And then also, we are available on YouTube and SoundCloud under S. Tucker. YouTube has the videos and SoundCloud has the audios. And I'm almost caught up with YouTube, by the way. I think I'm now in September. So I'm getting those uploaded as fast as I can. But definitely check us out. In the meantime, I guess I'm praying us out because I don't see Oz's beautiful face. So let's go forward into this day knowing that all is well. I bless this coming week with an acknowledgement and an awareness of that power and presence that moves through us as I bless the service that we just experienced. I know that it was good and that it uplifted and inspired everyone who listened to it. And so with that, I give great thanks to move forward in this day for all the blessings that we receive. And so it is. Amen. All right, let's get Faith on here since Oz isn't. Oz warned us that he may not, he was going to try and do the benediction from his car because he had to leave to go to a meeting. So, but anyway, so thank you all for being here. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We were blessed to have you here with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because we couldn't do this without you either. And please join us next week and every week at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Until next week, we love you. Stay safe. Bye.